I want you to look at this graph. It visualizes an idea that I've been seeing work time and time again on avoidance. This idea of a new you causing avoidance to hyper obsess. It starts with a pretty lame line that skids across the bottom of the x-axis, and then as time goes on, it rises and rises and rises. Oh, sorry, I kind of forgot to put labels on it. Here you go. Now on the left side, you can see we have how satisfied the avoidant is with you. And then on the bottom, of course, we have the old version of you, and then of course, the new version of you. About a year ago, I filmed this video, 100 avoidants came back. Here's what worked. The premise was pretty simple. I took 100 of my success stories, people who got their avoidance back, stop me if you've heard this before, and essentially just looked at what the most common patterns were. The number one pattern? Genuine emotional detachment. And just because I know there's going to be someone out there that says, Chris is totally making this up, I would like to play an actual clip from an interview I did with one of those success stories, Lauren, that I feel best encompasses the idea. So, if you were to sort of chart Lauren's experience during the post-breakup process with an avoidant, what would that look like on the graph that I made for you earlier? This circle represents Lauren. She's here firmly at the beginning of the graph, right smack dab at the start of the new you section. But as time goes on, as she processes the breakup, she, to use her own words, reaches a point where she thinks, I'm okay if I don't get them back. And notice her ascent up the graph. She's now into the new you territory. Oh, and look at that. Her avoidance satisfaction is much higher, making him or them much more likely to chase, which in Lauren's case, he basically did. So that's it, folks. We've cracked the code of what works to make an avoidant chase. Be sure to buy my stuff. Click subscribe. No. You can easily look at this graph and completely take the wrong lesson from it. When you see this graph, what is the first thing that pops into your head? Oh, if I want an avoidant to chase me, I'm going to be a new version of myself to make that happen. Well, what if I told you that I actually tricked you and that this isn't a graph about avoidance? It's a graph to help you visualize a psychological concept called reward prediction error, or in layman's terms, the concept of your dopamine spiking when the outcome is better or different than expected. I'm not shocked if you don't get it just yet. I mean, it took me a long time to understand it too, but perhaps I can help you with an analogy. Everyone likes the movies, right? I mean, how often have you been watching a movie and about halfway through you think to yourself, wait, I've kind of already seen a version of this movie before. For me, that's pretty much every romantic comedy in existence. They're all the same movie when you strip them down to their basic plot points. And I'm about to make maybe a huge enemy out of everyone here, but here's the basic plot points. The two leads meet under awkward circumstances or hostile circumstances. They clash, but there's obvious chemistry. Circumstances kind of keep forcing them back together again. They start seeing a softer side of each other, share a big emotional or romantic moment. A misunderstanding or fear blows everything up, which causes them to separate. One of them then makes a grand gesture and they reunite. You don't believe me? Well, let's just take that grand gesture plot point. Harry met Sally. Guy gives a big speech to win the girl's heart. Say anything. Guy literally puts a boombox over his head in a big gesture to win a girl's heart. Love Actually, we have the cue card confession at the door. At a certain point, predictability kind of becomes boring. I'd like to pull up the graph again, but we're going to make a few cosmetic changes. Old you will change to same movie, and new you will change to new movie. If you're an avoidant and all you've ever experienced is the same rom-com every day, you're always going to live in that same movie section. It's boring. You're kind of unsatisfied. Why do you have to sit through another one of these dang movies? But every once in a while, you come across a romantic comedy that zigs when everyone zags. The best example I can think of is 500 Days of Summer. The moment you're sitting there and thinking, okay, I get it. He's going to get back with the girl. He's being invited to the apartment for this party where they're going to reconcile. it's revealed that the love interest is freaking engaged to someone else. All of a sudden, you lean forward. You weren't expecting that. That's not what's supposed to happen. This is an example of reward prediction error at its finest, and avoidants are completely obsessed with this. Just take a look at the graph. We start out in these same movie sections. It's unsatisfying, boring, whatever. And then the expectation gets flipped. They lean forward. The zig instead of the zag happens, and boom! It's like something magical gets unlocked. Like I said, reward prediction error.